Welcome to the Konse podcast.
Me as a tough one, you just know, maybe in the stomach there I was performing.
You were performing,
I was
obviously.
moving around. They say, I want
Yeah,
to
bro.
come out. It's what's going on.
Yeah, man.
Before you start feeling like you're at the top of the world, you have the shits.
Facts,
You be
bro.
feeling that way.
Facts.
You're performing, man. You're a youngster, see.
Dude.
This one's performing. You're behaving like a youngster, see.
Could you tell us about like your early life, your upbringing, stuff
Yeah.
like that?
Yeah, so it's so complicated for me.
Yeah.
So that's how I dropped out of university. And then after dropping out, we had a lot of backup.
Relatable conversations on living your best life. Welcome to the Konse podcast. Yes, sir. Another day, another episode. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Konse podcast, your step-by-step guide on how to live your best life. Today, guys, we are shooting at Golden Days Lodge, and I gotta say, this place, the environment is amazing. It's quiet, it's peaceful. This place is vibes. More on them later on in the episode, but today, guys, I'm so excited for today's episode. For one main reason is that we've been pushing for this episode for a while, man.
I think it's been like a year.
Yeah, man, it's been, and it's funny because that's been the thing with almost all the guests. It's always taken a while to push, but I'm glad we finally get to do this, guys, because this guest is literally everything. He's a rapper. He's a dancer. He's an advocate, and like the way he likes to put it himself, he's the hardest stone in Nelly's cake. Ladies and gentlemen, none other than Kasamwa. Yes, sir. What's good, bro? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm chilling.
Nice. Good to have you, man. Like I said, we've been trying to do this for a while, man.
Yeah.
It's been like almost a year just trying to plan an episode, and like I said, it's been the thing with all my guests, from K Plus to Chembe to Joey. It's always taken like that, but I think for me, I like to say that it's always just God's timing, man. Like
God's speed, God's time, everything.
Exactly, man.
At the right
Exactly. So, what are you expecting from today's episode, man?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm curious to see the questions you're going to ask, the conversations we're going to have, the direction where we'll go.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think I'm just I'm open to just having like a conversation. With like people who are watching, like
nice,
with like the public. Podcasting feels like having a conversation with everyone.
Facts.
So I think that's what I'm interested in.
I love that. So first, even before we even get into the interview, how often do you do podcasts, like podcast interviews and stuff?
Lately, I haven't really been doing a lot of like interviews and stuff because I haven't put out any new content. So there really isn't like anything to promote. I'm still in the process of creating content or anything that. I've also been like just going through like live.
I got you.
To a different house.
Nice. Kudos to you on that.
Yeah, I'm like building like a content house where all my creator friends and casts can be creating and stuff. So I was busy with that. Like
I get you.
Just how looking for a house in Zambia.
It's a struggle,
for
man.
Real.
It's booky for real, man.
So so now that like I'm settling down, is when a lot of content comes. Yeah.
Nice. And I honestly have to tell you this story before we even start because like it's going to be interesting for me. The first time I got to know of Mixed Kasamwa was 2021, and like we said earlier, you had visited us at my school, Zikas. At the time, I didn't know like who you are like for that much, so I didn't see like that video that you did. And then later on, like you kept on trending with the Lusaka start attack and all of that, and for the longest while, I didn't get the concept at the time. So I was like, I don't know if I can watch this content. And then 2022, I don't know where I was at the time, but I just figured, you know what? Let me check out Lusaka starter pack. Man, I swear to this day, that has to be like the most entertaining Zambian content, modern Zambian content that I've seen. Like the comedy, the storytelling. It's it's brilliant, man. And then from there, you went on to do other things in music, mental health advocacy, Tilu, and all of that. And it's very rare that you get to see a content creator who is as diverse as you are and actually blow up the way you did. And that's why I feel like, in my opinion, you're the most entertaining person in Osaka because of that very fact. And I have to give you your flowers for that, man.
Thanks,
Like
thanks,
it's really,
thanks,
really,
thanks.
it's really amazing the things that you've done.
Yeah, I rarely see that because for me, I'm always busy, like focused on
Yeah.
creating what's next.
Mhm.
And then sometimes I think I underestimate people in Zambia, like they won't really understand or they won't appreciate
Mhm.
the effort I'm putting into the diversification of the
Yeah.
content,
Mhm.
into balancing. Okay, we're having fun, we're just performing, we're just
Yeah.
snapping as your bodies, but
Yeah.
like, let's be conscious about our mental health.
I get you.
So yeah, I think I sleep on Zambia sometimes, but like I always get banged. Like a lot of people, especially for Tilo, when I did Tilo, I was like, people just want comedy. People just want like
Tilo was amazing.
you just want, you know, Zambians we always just
Uh-huh.
want like we want to run away from like having serious conversations.
Yeah.
Things should always be a joke.
You know.
But then I think when people just started like meeting me, telling me, no,
Yeah.
it made me cry, it made me feel this way.
No,
Like,
because that show was really
that was
good,
my
bro.
goal. That was just my goal.
Yeah.
You know.
Aish, man, you hit a home run with that. It's like you literally did the 180 from comedy to
Yeah.
serious, and I was like, that's what creativity is.
Yeah.
That's what that's how you know you've made something special. Now, a lot of people, I don't think really know who Mixed Kasamwa really is outside the content creator aspect. You know,
Yeah.
like people don't even know like where you come from, if you're even Zambian. I know there's been rumors to say, wait, is this guy even Zambian? What your real name even is? You know? Could you tell us about like your early life, your upbringing, stuff like that?
Yeah. So it's so complicated for me.
Yeah.
Because what happened was, my mom is half Malawi and half Zambia.
Oh, really?
But she was born in Zambia.
Okay.
My dad is Zambian, but yeah, he's Zambian, and they got married in Zambia. And then when they got married, my mom was very sick. She was sick my whole childhood.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so after they got married, she couldn't conceive for some time.
Dang.
So you know the pressure. And then now look at this.
Man.
My Bali is the only son. He has 7 sisters, and he's the only son.
Wow.
So he's the only Kasamwa. Right? And then he gets married, and then now there's pressure for a child.
Yeah.
You know? And then she couldn't conceive for some time. So all that pressure, there was a lot of family issues between my grandfather and my father. So that's how my dad dipped with my mom to Botswana. Right. So in Botswana, that's when for some time I think they were just very positive, but there was just a lot of anxiety. Like, am I going to have a child? Like, what's going on? We did different tests. They were trying different things.
Yeah.
But my father always tells me this story. He's like, he just had faith. He had faith, and he wanted a boy, a son. Yeah. So my mom would always complain, like, we'll have a child, we'll have a child. People are calling, what's happening? What's happening? We want the Kasamwa, we want the Kasamwa. But yeah, that's what happened. That's the reason why I wasn't born in Zambia.
Okay.
A lot of people think that no, my father like got like like when people leave like Zambia, it's like to find a better job, to live better, but that really wasn't the case. My father was actually doing fine in both Lusaka and like he was in and out of like Lusaka and the Cobra Belt.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then after that, like miraculously, like literally from nowhere, is when my mom fell pregnant with me.
Look at God. Look at God.
Crazy. That's why up to today I still live my life knowing that I have a purpose.
It's very important.
It was literally just like from nowhere. It was unexpected. A lot of doctors were telling her there's a high possibility she won't conceive. she had anemia, her immune system was low, her blood was low, so there were a lot of reasons why her body couldn't have a child. You know? So that's when, after she had me, you know, there was still that anxiety again. Will we conceive? Okay, will everything be fine? You know, there was possibilities she could have lost her life having me. And me as a tough one, you just know, maybe in the stomach there I was performing.
You were performing, obviously.
I was moving around. They say, I want to come out. They say, what's going on?
Yeah, man.
But with all seriousness, yeah, that's how she conceived. And she was fine. You know, I was fine. But then she started, now her health started declining.
Wow.
More now after she had me. You know, and even like, just my memories with her is just her in and out of the hospital on different medicine to try boost her blood count, all these things.
Yeah.
So when I was staying in Botswana, her health like really depreciated. And we had to move back to Zambia because that's where family is. We had to move to LSK. You know what I mean? LSK. So that's where my mom's family predominantly are in Lusaka.
Okay.
Her older brother, her sister, like 3 of her brothers are in Lusaka, cousins, grandmother, everyone is in like Lusaka. So I came back. This was, I schooled in Botswana from grade 1 to grade 3. Okay. Then from grade 3, I came back to Zambia. And also one of the reasons why I came back is my father couldn't afford the medication, constant hospital and all that stuff. So the family had to pitch in, but they also just advised that she's closer. Yeah. So that's how grade 4 I schooled at Masambililo. I don't know if anyone knows Masambililo. Yeah, it was just one of these schools. They just take a house. You know, this schools, they take a house, they make a school.
Like those community schools type of thing.
I don't even think it was a community school. It was like, I don't know how to explain. They just took
a house and
then a house, and then they made classrooms. So it was a private school, but again, it wasn't like you know, like American International.
Like ICL type.
You know, it wasn't anything crazy. It was just a house, small location. Yeah, that's why I schooled. I still have some of my classmates I've met who I schooled with there. So grade 4 to grade 6, I schooled in LSK. I grew up in LSK then. But then my mom's health again
kept on declining.
And then I also wasn't very happy with where we were staying at that time. You know, I think I think some of just the people I was staying with. I think I was staying with my uncle. He like really helped, supported. But I think I just wanted to be. I felt like my mom wasn't around. She was always in hospital. Sometimes admitted in hospital. So I was raised by like my cousins and stuff, but I wanted a parent. So that's how my father told me to come back to Botswana. Okay. So I went back to Botswana grade 6 until, because now my mom's just in and out of hospital, would come to Zambia, visit her, go back, go back, until unfortunately I think 3 years later, after I'd moved back, is when she passed on. Oh, shame. Yeah. Condolences, man. Yeah. That's when she passed on. And I was very close with her. Me and my mom were really close because she couldn't, you know, for a very long time, she was very protective.
And you can understand why. Yeah. You know, given the whole backstory that you've given, you can really understand why.
Yeah. She was very, very protective. So we were very close. She never wanted, because if there was a time when we came to Zambia, my father was like, listen, you're not well, you won't be able to, you can't have the responsibility of taking care of the child, let him stay here. You know, she refused. She was like, taxi. He's not going anywhere. That's how we came back together. So I grew up very close with her. That's why when she was in hospital all the time, I just felt like uncomfortable. You know, I felt alone. So I was like, you know what, let me be with my dad. And I was also really frustrated. I was young, but I was frustrated because like, you know, she's just always sick all the time. Like, it was a lot to deal with. That environment was just a lot. So I moved, I stayed with my father, and she just let me go. So she was like, I understand, you know, I'm moving around, I'm always in the hospital, but I'll be fine. But she low-key also prepared me for her death, because she always used to tell me, move on, like one day I'm going to die, you know. So when she actually did die, I mean, it was obviously it's traumatic till today, but it didn't really take a toll on me as I expected, or as a lot of people expected, because she prepared me for years, because she had been sick and she saw it coming. You know? So when I was in Botswana, I just stayed with my father there. And then there's a lot of misconceptions of thinking that, like, because of the Yobali culture, you know, once I started pushing the Yobali culture, I picked the Yobali culture because it was just like a market I felt like wasn't tapped into.
Yeah.
But I won't lie, I didn't understand the complexity of that culture, because there's the colored people, obviously. They're the ones they say, you know, the Buta, like they're the ones who predominantly like pushed and started that culture.
Yeah.
But then there's the upper middle class and upper class people as well, who also adopted that culture.
Nice.
So when I was pushing that culture, I didn't really understand the depths of things. So now there's different misconceptions of people thinking that that culture is just for like rich kids. So now people started associating me
with rich kids,
with being a rich kid, and I've never been a rich kid.
That is crazy.
So
bro.
I had some other on, like he says he's from Chigolia, from the ghetto. He knows me. So one day we met. He's like, "You said we are rich kids, you're privileged. That's why you come from the ghetto." I was like, "You will never find, like, with all due respect, you'll never find somebody, a spoiled brat, who pushes the way I push."
I think you're actually right on that one.
You will never find a spoiled, like, child, or someone spoiled who just grew up with everything,
who pushes the culture the way you do.
The way I push. And you don't know where I come from. You only know, this is actually my first time going into depths of like my story, but I understand. That's why people are confused, because I haven't talked about it. But I just felt like, when I thought maybe it wasn't necessary to like focus on the content, but I think now people are deeply associated with like me. So it's like I have to be transparent,
because you've built a connection with your audience. You know,
if people are going to support me, keep on pushing, I kind of have to let them in on a little bit more. Not everything, but
not
a
everything,
little bit
obviously.
more. So I think after that, now I'm in Botswana. I grew up in Botswana, and mind you, my father, like, we always had financial issues. You know, even up to today, even from my creative journey, I still support like my father. I still help.
That's dope. That's really dope.
You understand? Because we've lived in Botswana. We lived in like over 11, 12 houses, just moving from this house to this house, rental arrears. There's times where we didn't have electricity because there's no water in Botswana. Like, it's a desert, so water bills were slightly higher. There were times we didn't have water. We had to go to different places to fetch water. We had to go to neighbors and friends and family to get water from there. Listen, like, I've seen the struggle.
Except you've been through a lot.
I've been through a lot.
How is it that we don't know this? Like, that is crazy.
Yeah, you know, it's crazy. I've been through all those things.
Dude, like, I'm sitting here and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Because even like the way you popped up on the scene, it's like you just came from nowhere. I was like, damn, that's really crazy.
Yeah,
bro.
But I understand. Like, I've been through like a lot. You know, when I see people struggle, like, I understand. Like, people think I don't understand. You know, people want to hate, like, on Twitter, thinking, this on, he doesn't know what the struggle is. Like, I've been through anything you can imagine. You know, and even with school, I've been to different schools even in Botswana because of the same thing. Like, my mom was really, I feel like if my mom was well and like alive and stuff, I feel my life would have been better. My dad really, you know, you need a partner in life.
Facts.
My mom was actually very like intelligent and very hardworking and very like, she was an alpha female. She was very strong and powerful. Her presence and personality. That's where I get it from.
She was the hard one before the
She was the hardest, you know, banana. The thing with me, my dad is very like quiet and more reserved, but for her, she was very like,
she was the one.
She was the one. So, you know, she got well at some point for like a year, and she attempted to work because she studied like daycare, like working with children. So there was a time she was working at a daycare and stuff. So I feel like if she was alive, that's when maybe I would have been the privileged kid people think I was. So she wanted me to always go to really good schools, or at least just, like an okay school. So she used to put pressure on my body, like, you need to take him to a good school, take him to a good school. I want my son to be educated. This is the only child we have. But even that was a struggle. I used to get kicked out of school for school fees all the time. All the time. Until I reached university, I started studying multimedia.
Nice.
It was very expensive. Like the first year was like 17 pin. Second year was like 21. Third year was like 30 something.
Just kept on going.
Yeah. It's a trap, isn't it? Like how the education system is sometimes. Like they just want you to keep on. Once you reach second year, like, let me just finish. They increase third year, they know you will pay fourth year. But it was also a very demanding course. Like that's why I learned everything. Like my Photoshop, my Premiere Pro, my film related stuff, content creation. It was multimedia.
Nice.
So I did like 2 years, and then we started having issues with school fees. And I got frustrated, and the school even gave me a scholarship because I was very creative.
Nice.
A 30% scholarship, but it still wasn't enough.
I get you.
So I had a conversation with my body. I was like, I don't think I can continue. Like, let's be realistic. He said, no, I'll make a plan. I was like, listen, I don't want to go through going to school, leaving school again. And then he had remarried, so I had a stepsister. So she also needed education and everything and stuff. And we're already
so that was
struggling.
already another pressure.
Exactly. So I told him, I was like, listen, it's just best I drop out. And majority of the things we were learning, I won't lie, were available on YouTube. So I'd like to believe I completed at least everything I needed to know to do what I need to do off of like just YouTube.
That is so dope, man.
So that's how I dropped out of university. And then after dropping out, I mean, we had a lot of back and forth. He was still under the impression that, no, I've performed, like I should have just continued. I was like, listen, paying like 60K like a semester. Like, let's be realistic. Okay, like what's the fine? Like I would have very like civil conversations, logical conversations, because we're men. So like, what's the financial plan? Like, do you feel like you can afford this? We're already like owing rent like 3-4 months. He's already trying to borrow money here and there just to survive. We're living like hand to mouth, like literally trying to look for money for food for just this week.
I hear you.
I'm not going to pay 60K.
Yeah, it's just going to be a bigger stress.
So that's how I was like, let's just be realistic. And then I also spoke to the school. But even the school, when they gave me that scholarship, it was this thing like, we just want you to keep paying. I don't know. But I had a conversation with them and I said, listen, if you really want me here and you see what I'm doing, etc., like I won't, like, the only thing that can make me stay is 100% or 90% scholarship, or maybe a 70%. They're like, no, you can't do that. I was like, they really don't want me here.
Exactly.
Or I just can't afford. Let me not even blame you. I just can't afford. So that's how I dropped out and I left Botswana and I came back to Zambia just to connect with the relatives and everything. But when I came back to LSK now, is when now my relatives now, they're like, they didn't know I dropped out like for 2 years. Like, we thought you were in school, why didn't you tell us? You've performed. You just know, like with Zambian relatives when it comes to school.
It's crazy.
You've performed. They say you haven't, like, you should have tuned us. So I said, okay, I don't mind going back. Like, I actually like the course I'm doing. Multimedia, media is, I saw like social media and everything, like everything going. That's why, like, I'm not the biggest, but I'm big on TikTok, I'm big on Facebook, I'm big on Instagram, I'm big on YouTube. I saw this long time and I prepared myself.
Nice.
I knew the world is changing. So I said, I don't mind going back, but who's going to remove the sheets? Who's going to remove the tongue?
Who's going to be paying the racks?
Who's going to bring the racks?
So
now everyone was like, hey, I'm not just going to racks. Everyone was quiet. Then I said, exactly. And also, I wouldn't want to put that pressure on you. All of you have your families, you've got your kids, you've got your responsibilities. I'm not going to give you a higher responsibility.
I don't want to be a burden.
I don't want to be a burden. So that's when they were like, okay, that's how they just, I won't lie, they were very supportive after that conversation. Like I said, we were having logical conversations. We had a family meeting and I was just addressing all my uncles and everyone that, like, this is the situation, And then they talked to my father as well. He just admitted, like, like I won't lie, it was a struggle, big struggle. And I think it was just this thing where my father just, as a man, you don't want to go to people and start telling people, no, we're struggling, but it's this thing we're trying to maybe, like, we're in another country, so like, we should be living,
People
Nice.
think that like that a lot. Like you think just because you're living in another country,
Yeah.
then you're living
Soft.
well and stuff.
Life is soft.
But you don't even know the reason why they must have gone there.
Yeah.
You know?
So that's when now we came to a conclusion, and then they told me, okay, like keep doing what you're doing. Let's see like where it goes.
Yeah.
So that's when now the pressure came in now. It's like,
And
okay, I'm
that's-
in LSK now.
It's time to be a hard one.
It's time to be a tough one now. I need to be above now. Like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
What am I going to do? So that's why I was like, okay, at first I was a dancer. I also did a lot of theater when I was in Botswana.
Nice.
I just found, just to escape what was going on you know, in our family, I would always do like artistic and creative things. That was my drug. That's what kept me alive. You know.
That's dope.
So I did a lot of theater, because in Botswana they're slightly ahead when it comes to creative theater and stuff. I won't lie. So there was different places you can go to learn and find a community. You know. And theater and like art and creative in Botswana is like predominantly like therapy, like it's a drug. People establish these things knowing that we're trying to keep people away from doing the
reality of things. You know, that's really, really dope, because I think even for just creatives in general, a lot of them, they would start it out as a way to escape something that they're going through.
Yeah.
I remember Joey started his channel from depression. Lombe, I think, started hers from like a makeup thing or something, if I remember correctly. I started mine because I wanted not only just an escape, but also just to do a hobby and stuff. So I totally get you when you say you wanted, when you started your creativity, it was more like less as an escape in the beginning.
Yeah.
That really, really makes sense. Relatable conversations on living your best life. Welcome to the Konse podcast.
Yeah, so but again, so when I came back now in Zambia is when I just felt the pressure, like, okay, I need to push, I need to I love creative. I need to like do something, like, see what to do. So that's when now, like, literally I was just somebody who was just walking down the streets and I had like different friends, like and one misconception people have about this the Yobale culture is that it's for rich kids. Like I had friends like in Counter Square that used to speak like that. I had a friend of mine, he died. He used to school at Momana, then he schooled at Monali Boys. His name was Adrian. Like he didn't come from like a well-off place. He was my friend, like from the Counter Square area. Like I had like 3, 4, 5 friends there. And I remember the first time I came across that lingo was at Monali Boys. Like in the basketball courts. There was there was some I don't know what they were smoking, what drugs they were doing. So like we're just playing basketball, chilling, playing music. My friend, like, he loved rapping. So I was rapping, playing beats. So someone came, XA! What's up, XA? What this, XA? I was like, what's this? He's like, don't worry, man.
Don't worry.
So my friend used to do those drugs. So he got those drugs. I don't know what they mixed it with. Then he like just smoked. So he gave that guy back. The guy wanted to give me. I was like, no. You're performing, man. You're a youngster. You're a youngster. This one's performing. You're behaving like a youngster. You know, that's why I came across like
that
the lingo.
It was like, this is okay. This is interesting.
You know,
lingo.
I don't know if you saw my recent video where I'm at Monali Boys.
I don't think I did, but
there's a video of me and Monali Boys. Like we're on a school tour with the dance lab, and I went to perform like bookie and stuff, and the energy is crazy. Like it's like people don't know, like stop boxing the culture inside one demographic. It's everywhere.
Stop labeling it.
You know what I mean? And I can go to. At first, I started believing that narrative. People were feeding it to me, but I know who I am. It's a self-awareness thing. I'll go to different. I can go to like Chawama. I can go to Ngombe. That's it.
That is crazy.
You know, it's like and then even when we collaborated like with Shefi and YSLB, right? Like
I'm a gangster.
Exactly. Like even they know. Like,
I'm a gangster. That song is tough, bro. That song is tough, man.
Like even they know that like this is a culture we know about, you know. And there's also people who this culture is not just Lusaka, like even in the Copper Belt, so like
You'd be surprised, eh?
People started reaching out. Livingstone, like,
Dude.
I went to Livingstone to Vic Falls for my birthday with my girl. And I was passing by the immigration office.
Yeah.
And the immigration officer was like, exit. Let's take a snap, man.
Dude.
I'm back. I'm like, all the way to Livingstone. Like, this is how big the culture is.
You'd be surprised.
So that's when I was like, you know what? I was low-key about to give up on the culture and be like, people think I'm a rich kid. Maybe I'm giving them a narrative that's not true. Maybe I'm being fake. But I was like, no. This culture is for everyone.
Facts.
It doesn't matter where you're from, what class you are in. And I think it's a good thing that people in like the high class and the low class can relate to that culture, because I think most of the narratives that are pushed from Zambia is from maybe like a place of like poverty and struggle, which is still the reality.
Yeah.
But I feel like we need to start seeing ourselves as Zambians, as we can become like
more than that.
Black excellence.
Facts. That is so true, bro.
We can become more than that, and we can interact with different demographics. I love SA how like somebody can come from Alex, a place like Alex or Soweto, but still make it and have a relationship with people in a high class from Sante. You know?
That is so true, bro.
Like, but here we like creating that division. There's so much division in Zambia where it's like, just because I'm from Chawama, from Ngombe, I can't associate myself with somebody who's from
New Kasamwa or something.
New Kasamwa or Kablonga, you know? And that's not true. Like, a lot of people, I've seen friends from like people from different places. You know what I mean? Like, I was working with my dad on Tilo, like I'm sure you saw that. My dad always tells me, yo, me, I come from Matero. But like when he's interacting with other people in corporates and stuff, it doesn't matter that he came from Matero.
They don't care where you're coming from.
Exactly. Like it shouldn't matter. Like it should, in fact, it should just be something that you use to say,
representing you,
I'm
where
representing
you're coming from,
where I come from, and this is why I'm going where I'm going.
Yeah.
But you should be able, as Zambians, you should be able to go to New York, like, and like I'm from Chibolia, and now I'm talking to people in New York. If you start thinking like that,
dude, people would be,
like
be wild.
Creating this limit, like of like no, just cause like maybe like like I will admit the poverty in Zambia is
real.
It's real. It's really sad. Even with this drought going on, like
it's wild.
I just felt it in my heart. Like, imagine the people who don't have water and stuff like that. You know, so it's like. But still, like, mindset is everything.
Facts.
Mindset is everything. Like, all of us. I do have fans, even in the combo, even like Counter Square or whatever, who like tell me, Mix, like, I look up to what you do, etc., etc. And that's what's important. It's just motivating.
And you know what I love about that for you is that you don't even segregate your fans. Like the same way you be the same time you'd give your fans in Chibola, the same time you'd give your fans who are from like maybe Zikas or whatever, and that's really, really dope. And bro, the story you've just shared is so deep. Like, it's actually, I really genuinely didn't know that part about you, you know, and it kind of brings to full circle why you are who you are, you know. It kind of makes me, and I think also the fans who are watching, understand to some degree now why Mix is who he is, you know. It's really, really crazy how you push the culture. And dude, first of all, even I know I gave you applause in the beginning, but now even based off the story that you've given, I give you even more props to you, because you've really, really pushed, man. You've really, really pushed. So now let's get into your whole aspect as a creative. Let's start with the name. What inspired the name Mix Kasamwa?
So my names are like Mwape Kasamwa. So when I was in Botswana, people couldn't say Mwape. Like,
okay.
They were struggling, people were complaining, like, we need to give this guy a different name. So Mix is just sort of like a nickname they gave.
Really?
Yeah, like in Botswana.
You know what I've always thought? What? I always thought that Mix was because you really love music and stuff. So like, because I didn't know at the time that your background was dancing, I thought Mix was like maybe you're like a DJ or something. So I was like, okay.
It would suit to being a DJ.
You know, it would have. Really would have.
Mix. Keep like you always saying.
Mix on the mix. That is dope.
Yeah.
Now, I want to delve into your musical inspiration as well, because like I said, you're like a lot of things, and we're going to get into a lot of them like as we go on. But with your music, you're a rapper and you've got some tough bars. Like I've heard you on the song that you did with Clear Ice Queen and J Trigger. That one was by far, I think, my favorite bar that you did. Then this is Lusaka, obviously. It's Boki, like, and then there's the mental health. I've forgotten the name, but there's that song about mental health that you did with, I think that was Ruth Ronnie.
It was Rochelle
Daphne.
Tilo.
Yeah, that song was good, bro.
Yeah.
That song was really, really good. So, what are your inspirations for music? Like, are there any particular artists that you listen to, or like, yeah, what's your inspiration behind the music aspect?
Yeah, I think I've always really been passionate to like make music. I think
Mhm.
it really just okay. Like I used to rap like when I was younger,
Mhm.
just for fun at school and stuff. But dancing in theater took
Mhm.
most of my attention.
Okay.
And I've always been a hip hop head.
Nice.
Shout out to the beef that's going on right now.
Ah, that deep though.
Like
I'm waiting
really
for a
enjoying
certain
it.
someone to bring his bars as
yeah,
well.
yeah. I'm a hip hop head. I'm entertained by that. Like it's so fun,
Nice.
But anyway, I've always been passionate about music, and for me,
Mm.
I'm passionate about like soundtracks. Like
Yeah.
I just remember, what I used to do was, we never used to have DSTV for a long time,
Okay.
right? Like,
Mm.
because obviously, like we were
Yeah.
struggling a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
But there was a period when my dad, at least, things were, he was trying,
Mhm.
So I remember this time we had like the time for cassettes. I would record a lot of like music videos
Nice.
and like stuff on like Disney Channel,
Yeah.
knowing that like once the subscription ends, at least I'll have stuff to watch.
You still have stuff to watch. That was
So I had
smart.
like a bunch of cassettes that I used to like record on,
Mm.
and then I would see like a lot of Disney, especially Disney. I've been a fan of Disney, starting from like The Lion King and like how they
Disney is the goat.
they don't play with the music.
They don't.
You know what I mean? They don't play with the music. So when I did the Saka Startup Pack, I'm sure you will listen. I always pick the best songs from Killer, The Fake, just different people.
Look, the Sucker Startup Pack give us bangers, bro. They give us bangers.
For real. So I wanted a song about the Saka Startup Pack, like lingo.
Yeah.
They know ballads.
Yeah.
No one was making music like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, that's how I hit up The Fake. And I was like, guys, let's just make something, But no one was comfortable.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to force anyone.
Yeah.
To be rapping and saying, So that's when I reached out to the Fake and we worked on that song just to promote the Saka Startup.
That's all.
Like, once we did that, like everything just came together
Mm.
and it did really well for my core fan base.
Mm.
So then now there's pressure, like my fans are like, we want more music. I'm like, if I'm going to make more music, then I want to make good music. Least, I'm big on quality. I might not be big on quantity, but one thing I've always been striving for is quality. It's quality, and till I die, I'm just going to make sure I keep taking the quality to the next level. Quality is my strength. Like people can come with maybe more relatability, maybe more vernacular and everything. But one thing will compete at head to head is with the quality. I'll make sure the quality I'm going to bring 4K, top notch, light, casting, drip, post production, everything. Yeah. So I don't play when it comes to quality. So
and you're very intentional about it.
Very, very like the details. The devil is in the details.
Yeah.
So when it comes to music, it's just been, I won't lie, predominantly music is like, I'm not really happy with the music industry in Zambia. It's a mess. It's so discouraging. Just go on Facebook, you just see conversations people are having about music. The scandals surrounded around music in Zambia. Everyone trying to pretend like you're Drake, you're this. The contrast between even South African artists, just South Africa, just here, and Zambia.
What do you think it would take for Zambia to really go to the next level? Because I agree with you. It's really discouraging, and I think one of the reasons why it is discouraging is because you can see that the talent is there.
Yeah.
Like there's so many talented musicians in Zambia, bro. But like the way the industry is structured, it just makes it difficult for the industry to grow. You know what I mean? So I don't know. What do you think what it would take for the industry to really get to the next level for the music industry?
you know, I feel like in Zambia we are just so obsessed with the division. You know,
Yeah.
especially Kopala versus LSK.
Yeah.
I mean, people do collaborate, but
Mm.
I just feel like we need to find a universal sound or universal language that is relatable to all of us. You know, rather than like we like this division. You know, this politics between Copper Belt and Lusaka already. I think that's one of the first problems. Like, we're so obsessed about it's Kopala, it's LSK.
Yeah.
These people in South Africa and UK, they don't give a damn. Like,
They don't.
do you know where my piano is from? Can you say no? It's from this side of South Africa.
You just know it's from
care.
South Africa.
You don't
Even
care.
same with like Nigerian music.
Exactly.
You just know it's from Nigerian music.
Full stop. That's all we need to know. That's what's important.
Yeah.
You know. So even with Afro beats, like it's very rare that okay, the video, Burna Boy or like Wizkid might be like having a thing where it's like it's more like on a personal level. It's never really been about this one is from the Kola Bill, this one's from the South. So you know, this one is better. This one's like no, like we need to just come up with the sound. Also, over localization, like. We've over localized like the sound. That's why like low key me, you know, in as much as I might not get like high numbers because there's predominantly like English and stuff. I know that like for me to be related with people in SA, Nigeria or like diaspora, I kind of need to speak a language that everyone listens to. It's just sad. Listen, Bemba Nyanja, like people don't speak it in other countries. If it was Swahili, maybe it would have been different because it's Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. So you can go with Swahili. But Africa's already divided. You know, right? We're already divided. And then in Zambia again you divide, you know? And then now it's difficult. Like listen, I won't say just because somebody makes music in Nyanja or Bemba, like they can't blow up. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying we kind of need some diversity. Like,
I hear you.
SA has like Nasty C, and then they've got Java. You know, Java is predominantly whatever. I don't know if it's Zulu or Xhosa, I don't know what it is. But they have a Nasty C as well. There's like Aries.
And you can find they even collaborate on the same song.
Exactly. You see, so that's what we need. That's what I push whenever I'm making music or content is. I want to be that guy who at least okay, can we listen to something in like English or like even though like there's the lingo, can you listen to something? I'm like, okay,
I hear you.
Investigate that.
And I think
like,
and to be honest, sorry to cut you. I think to be honest, it's also a situation where like quite alright, people are pushing like for the lingo to for like Zambian lingo to be out there and stuff by using predominantly Bemba Nyanja. And I do agree with you with the fact that okay, in order to be really relatable to the outside audience, you need a bit of English and stuff. I honestly think what they're trying to do is kind of like the people are pushing Amapiano. Like there's when you listen to an Amapiano song, there's no English in it in an Amapiano song. So I feel like that's the trend they're trying to follow. But then again, I think with South African music and maybe even other music as well, I think South Africa did it strategically because it's not always been Amapiano. There was SA hip hop before that, the Caspers, the AKAs, and stuff like that. So I think it's also a matter of figuring out a strategy, also with the sound, like you said, on how you really put yourself out there.
Yeah, I think with SA, one of the reasons why, okay, again, it comes down to just population. SA is bigger.
Last.
And then Nigeria is even bigger.
Last.
But Nigeria has a good balance with the pidgin and the English and stuff, right? But I would beg to differ to say that Amapiano kind of struggles to penetrate internationally. If not, there's this whole controversy between like Nigeria's even taken the lock drum and sounds from Amapiano and made it where Swahili and a lot of Americans are like, yo, this piano shit from Nigeria is dope, you know?
From Nigeria.
You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, sometimes the language barrier for like when you listen to like Fireboy, you know, like there's a bit of the or what's called Yoruba, and Pidgin, and there's some English
and Igbo as well and stuff like that,
right?
English, yeah.
But then when you listen to Mlando, because it's a big song, but like Mlando was like we don't even know what Mlando means.
This is crazy.
But we vibed to it.
Yeah.
But again, like the Nigerians, the video, they still have the if I tell you that I love you, they still have the upper hand.
Yeah, that's true.
Because at the end of the day, like they are still meet their balance, they have a nice balance. South Africa certain Amapiano songs don't have like they're not balanced enough.
Like,
that's
that's
why.
true.
If they, but I still feel like they're balanced because when Nasty C jumped on AKA's Lemon,
Yeah, that was a good song.
that was a good song. That was in a piano beat,
Yeah.
but like it's in English.
It was
So
really
they still have a better balance than like Zambia.
I hear you.
But Nigeria has the upper hand.
Dude,
because
Nigeria, I feel like
most
Nigeria
of the
figured out.
bangers is like people feel like they can listen.
Dude, they
can
figured out
understand.
the system. Like,
Exactly.
they broke the system, man.
That's what we need in Zambia.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not saying let's not localize. I'm just saying
Let's find the balance.
let's find a balance. You know, let's just find a balance. Let's not overdo, you know, Nyanja or Bemba or
Right.
English.
True.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
Dope, man, dope. Now let's come back to the Soccer Starter Pack, because to this day, other than Tilo, that was one of my favorite things to watch on YouTube, man.
Yeah.
I remember when I started, it was like the first episode, I was like, this is dope. Second episode, and it reached the point where like you can't stop, like you just want to keep going. Why did it end?
The Soccer Starter Pack is a very expensive production to pull off.
Okay.
That's the first thing. Number two, it requires a big team. Right? So number three, it needs to evolve. If I kept doing it the same way, trust me, you would enjoy it, but it will become monotonous or boring. So I'm in a position where I'm also evolving and changing as the writer and the visionary. So I have strategies to make it better. Trust me, like I'm just smiling right now because the things that I'm going to add now will be J. Like if you think that was J.
So are you saying the Soccer Starter Pack will be coming back?
Yeah, it's LSP season right now. I've already shot the first episode.
Nice.
That's why I'm even in the Soccer Starter Pack. It's LSP
man.
season. We're back. I feel like I now understand why things take like a season of this will come, it goes quiet, then it comes back, it goes quiet. Yeah. Like in production, like the Soccer Starter Pack, the feel, you know how it makes you feel, like the lighting, color grading,
everything.
drone shots, the casting, locations, the music.
Plus, you need racks.
You need sheets.
Eesh, man.
You need racks.
dong.
So, but that wasn't even the main issue because I've been watching so many brands from the beginning up to today. Even today, I've received emails to just different brand collaborations. I can always bring that to the table and get them to collaborate. It was just mainly change, like evolving the narrative of the culture. So the Soccer Starter Pack is about to become like a proper Zambia Soccer Starter Pack where like the reenactment of a lot of things that you've been seeing.
That is crazy.
In a comical way, but very true. Where like, this is funny, but this is the truth.
Facts.
So the next episode that's dropping actually is called Soccer Starter Pack, a Z Celebrity.
A Z Celebrity.
So from there already, like, you can kind of feel like, okay, we'll see what's going to happen.
That is going to be dope, man.
What is a Z Celebrity?
Hey, the Soccer Starter Pack, that one. Guys.
Yeah.
The Fitumbua skits, the what? Bro, those are dope. I'm not even going to lie.
Yeah.
And you you've been one person who's been very advocate about mental health. You've been very open about it. And after, I think there was that period after the Soccer Starter Pack ended, and just before you were planning to start to release Tilu, there was that period where you were heavy on on mental health advocacy. You even had the mental health Mondays thing going on and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Why was that important to you, and why did you feel like that was something that you needed to take up on yourself to say, let me use my platform and do this to advocate for that?
I reached a level. This is my first time, I think, also noticing this and saying this. I reached a level in the industry where I just realized that people are disturbed. Like, you know, when they say the entertainment industry is evil, I started seeing it. And what I started seeing, even though like there's a lot of spiritual things, but like even just a lot of psychological things. Like, a lot of people in the industry have experienced trauma to levels that you can't imagine. You know what I mean? They've experienced trauma to levels you can't imagine. So I was like, this is messed up. the industry, like even just the Zambian industry, the thing is for like pretending in front of your face is that we're a Christian nation, everyone's a good boy. It's crazy. So finding out certain married musicians and celebrities are sleeping with like random pies and stuff like that, right? And then I sit down and I'm like, this is Jade. Like, why is this going on?
You know?
And then I realized the pie has her own trauma.
Yeah.
All the celebrities also have their own trauma.
That's why they say it's just for business.
Yeah, you know what I mean? That you know, we like joking about these things, but that just means that Lusaka is actually like a very like
it's broken.
It's a broken place.
Yeah.
It's a very and in as much as mending it and mending some of these psychological issues like self-awareness, inferiority complex. Like a lot of people have this inferiority complex in Zambia, especially amongst people like celebrities. Like somebody just feel like he can't put you on because once he puts you on, he will instantly vanish and become nothing. You know, these unnecessary competitions you see on Facebook between celebrities, like it's so unnecessary. It all comes from no, I feel like I'm better. No, I'm better. And then when we go outside Zambia, people there, they look at us like, you're nothing.
What are you doing?
Who are you? What do you do?
And that's also been my big, like, people are fighting with each other in our country when we're not even big enough to have that international recognition to say, even if we're fighting, when people notice, they won't even notice anything. Like, why are you guys even fighting?
Yeah, like, you know, when Aries and SC are beefing, like, we hear about it here. When Casper and AKA beef, the whole Africa knows about it.
We know it.
You know, but because they're a place where, like, they're beefing and whatever, but they have superiority complexes. Like Casper on his own is confident in himself and everything, and he knows what he wants. And same thing with AKA. But for us, like psychologically, we still haven't worked on these inferiority complexes. And like, we need to become confident in ourselves. Like, believe in yourself. Like stop comparing yourself to other people.
Be a hard on excel.
Just be a tough on. Like you don't need to compete with anyone. Me, I'm in my own league.
Preach, bro. Preach.
I don't compete with anyone. There's no one in me, I'm in my own lane.
You know?
And you can see people always just tell me, what you're doing here in your own lane. I'm like, exactly. Like that's been the plan. Like this, no offense. Because of all these inferiority complexes and everything, and most of these mental health issues that people have. Let me just say, most of the inferiority complexes people have and insecurities. It doesn't inspire me. A lot of people in Zambia don't inspire me. They don't, like, I have to get my inspiration outside. I'm just going to be real. Because of this rubbish of like pull him down syndrome, literally.
I love that you've brought that up because this has been my biggest problem with not just Zambia, but the creative industry in Zambia alone. Like you put it, in Zambia we have this thing where negativity trends more than positivity. We like fueling feuds and stuff. So even when and this is why I love art creatives like you and Joey and Lombe who don't subscribe to that, because you've managed to figure out a way to remove yourself from that. Like, it's really sad when you have, and I'm just putting this out there as examples, when you have an artist who's coming up like Mordecai, right? He's just come up and then people are now, for no reason at all, putting him against a big artist like Your Maps and start making fake stories to say, oh no, they're beefing. And another thing why it's irritating is because even people in that industry know that sells.
Yeah.
And so because they know that sells, they'll fuel it as well.
Yeah.
Because again, like you said, it's almost again like a mental thing, because now you want to not only fuel your ego, but it's also your way of trying to trend. Because I don't know, maybe you don't know any other more positive way to trend. So the best way to trend is to maybe orchestrate a fake beef or whatever. And I'm like, why do we even have to resort to that? Like, why can't you just trend and grow through your own creative process? Like, you don't need the online beef, you know?
Sometimes beef is necessary, but like predominantly in like hip hop, but like tasteful beef, like Kendrick and Drake right now, like you know,
it's entertaining.
It's entertaining, tasteful, like not the one where everyone on Facebook is just talking and somebody's career has just started. You understand? Like Drake and Kendrick beefed later on, and it's rap. That's rap. It's competitive.
It's how
people are doing R&B and singing, like, where should they be beefing? R&B is about like love songs and like unity. You know, it's not about beefing. Like, why is Mordecai and why is Chile One and like Yo Maps beefing? Like, that's not the genre. If it's like maybe like Slap D and like Sheffield Market, it can make sense. Like, oh, let's go in the studio, diss tracks, but like, but for like R&B or like Afro beats and like music, that
just
type
don't
of music
get it.
doesn't. It's like Nigerian music right now is on the soul of like the energy of like positive vibes. You know, if it's a love song or if it's just a song about vibes, you're going out during the weekend, you're having a good time. That's like where Afrobeats is. Same thing with piano. It's about the weekend, going into the club, having a good time.
You know you're going to have a good
It's
time.
not about nonsense. And like when I see like Mordecai, it reminds me a lot of like Justin Bieber in terms of how he's discovered, right?
Yeah.
When Justin Bieber came, there was no one they were comparing him to.
He was just his own thing.
Look at Chris Brown. Like Chris Brown's music video is got more viral than Justin Bieber. It's like, let's focus on Justin Bieber right now. And you know, it's all about him. He came up. It's just about him, and it's just about his music.
Exactly.
Nothing else. It's not about management or whatever. We didn't even know what record label he was signed to when he came out.
You know,
we didn't even care. Like, it's just about the art. This song, baby, whatever.
Company,
oh, it's collaborating with this. You know what I mean? And if you notice, what destroyed him is now when the scandals and the controversy came with Selena Gomez and all those. That's when things started getting messed up.
Exactly.
But when you just focus, and one thing I feel like Michael Jackson tried to do and did really well for a very long time, he always just made it about the music. He would hide his kids, hide who he's in a relationship with. Yeah, there were whatever allegations that were there, but even those, he controlled them. It's like, guys, forget about this and let's look at the music. Let's look at the choreography. Let's look at the music videos. Let's look at how I'm dressed. Dude, this is what it's about.
Michael Jackson will forever be the standard for music. No one can tell me anything else, bro.
Yeah,
that's facts. And I love that you brought that out, man. So now, mental health aside, all the other accomplishments that you've done aside, let's now dive into you as a creative. You're a very unique creative, and like you've put it, like you're in your own lane, like you're in your own space. No one can create, no one does creative content like the way you do. Let's just be honest and let's just be factual about it. No one does creative content the way you do, and even if they did and tried, they would fail.
Yeah,
that's a fact. How do you do your like what inspires your creativity to do something, whether it's the mental health, whether it's Tilu, whether it's a startup pack, whether it's pushing the Yo Bali culture? What really inspires you to say, okay, you know what, let's try and do this concept and see how it works? And then my follow-up question to that is, when did you discover now that, okay, I'm a creative? Or like, has this been something that you always knew from the get-go?
I've always known that like I was a creative. Like I hate, I don't want to say hated. I hate school.
Yeah.
Like school.
Not
it
for
was
you,
a drag for me. I hated school. Like I think maybe primary like was a vibe, you know, sports, all that stuff, you know, pies, you know, because in Botswana there's not like all boys, all girls.
Yeah.
It was always guys and girls. So at least that's one thing that would wake me up in the morning. It's this pie, like, you know, at break time,
you know?
Literally. But I wasn't bad at school. I was average, you know. I was like a CB student. I was okay.
Yeah.
But I hated it. I really hated it. And I remember walking home from school every day, and I'll just tell myself, like, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. I don't see myself being a doctor or like a lawyer, but I have to figure something out.
But imagine that though, Dr. Mix Kasamwa.
Dr. Mix Kasamwa say, welcome to the hardest hospital in LSD.
Dude, that would be dope.
When you come into the ward, you find like white Air Force Ones.
You know?
Then you go in the ward, you're chilling, there's music playing, chilling. The nurses are paying.
Dude. You even know they'll be paying.
If I ever at the hospital, the nurses will be paying. Just at once in LSK, the way they're hungry, they're thirsty. They would want to start now. The nurses wants to take care of you, want to start taking care of the nurses.
You know?
Yeah, but I just didn't really see myself like becoming like a lawyer or doctor. So creative. I remember when I started watching like music videos and movies. That's when I was taking. I was like, at a young age, I started asking myself, how did they make this? Because it feels so real, you know, like when you watch a movie, especially like Hollywood, like Western movies, like cinema is a culture, it's a tradition for the youth, for Hollywood. It's like, yeah, they make a lot of money, but that's not the main goal. The main goal is like, this is our life. Like, we are dedicated and committed to this. So
people sell their souls just to get there.
yeah, people sell their souls. People do so many things just to get there. So as a child, I used to watch, like, I remember like Lion King. I loved all the songs. I was like, so how did they make these songs? Did they record the songs? Like, what did they do? Hakuna Matata. You know what I mean? The Circle of Life.
Oh, man.
I was like, how did they do this? And then I would watch, like, Home Alone was just one of my favorite movies.
Home Alone and stuff.
As a kid, I could relate to him. Like, I think mainly because my mom was never around and I was just feel alone.
Yeah.
So when he was alone, I would feel like I'd connect to him. So I just watched it back to back to back.
Those are the shows you just had to watch when Christmas season came along.
Exactly. Me has to watch it even if it's not Christmas. I would watch it, but Christmas just to slap. I still watch it now, like just to go back to myself, like to connect to myself, to remember where I come from. Because different scenes in that Home Alone movie reminds me of different things I've been through in my life. But anyway, just watching that, dissecting it, like, how do they do this? How do they do this? How do they do this? I was just so inquisitive with that. So when I went into like dance introduced me to theater. Now I started doing productions at a place in Botswana called Mwape Theater. I did productions and I started writing scripts for the productions. We started acting. I was part of like a theater. I was really big into like the creative space in Botswana. Actually, like a lot of people still remember some of the things I've done. Even like celebrities, they remember. Yeah. So I used to do a lot of like theater, and I think that's when I realized that like one thing, the main principle for me, aside the money or like being a public figure, is it's like a drug for me. It's what keeps me alive. Even when I was going through like my mental phase, my mental health phase, because that phase was very healing for me. I'm here today. I'll bring more content. I'm still alive. I still have the energy. Now my brand will still grow and evolve because of that phase. Like it was very therapeutic. Like putting it out there and people saying me too, me too, me too, me too, me too, me too. I was like, I'm actually not alone.
And that's the beauty about it. You get to figure out that, damn, I'm actually not alone in this struggle.
Exactly. So that exchange of like them realizing, even Mix,
you know,
and me also like, even you guys.
It's crazy.
It was crazy. So it was very healing. So now, getting to this, I realized there was a time when I was just having like maybe like suicidal thoughts. I feel like suicide and all these things, low key, it's evil. It's like devilish spirit sometimes. I'll admit, because so the way these intrusive thoughts come into your mind sometimes it's so unprovoked. Like it's not, and that's the problem with anxiety. There's no issue, but like I feel like this evil, like the devil just brings like problems that are not there and tells you what if these problems become these problems in the future. What if what happened in the past becomes even worse?
And that's the worst part of it.
That's when you get paralyzed down, trapped. So now, the only thing that keeps me like going is creating. Creating, number one, and gaming. Creating is when I feel like the same way, for real. Like I've started streaming like on TikTok. And it's been 3 days.
So
check it out. Like first, it's like creating. Like when I'm creating, like when I'm in character, we're filming, we're rolling out. It takes so much time. 3, 4, 5 months pass, and I don't even realize like, life has been going. And it's the only thing that keeps me alive, knowing that like I have to come for a podcast like this. I have to cut up the content. I'm gonna put out some content myself. I have to create more episodes of Lushomo Startup. People are waiting. The next generation needs to get inspired. I want to change. My main purpose is, one of the reasons also is changing the mindset of the youth. Like, I'm a Zambian. People keep saying I'm not a Zambian. Like, I'm in Zambia. Like,
he's a Zambian,
I was working with the Electoral Commission of Zambia, posted my NRC and everything. Like, my name is Kasamwa. Like, I'm a Zambian, and I don't like associating myself to what tribe. I'm mixed with different tribes. Like Tumbuka, a little bit of Bemba, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But I don't want to get in. Tribalism is another issue.
I hear you.
That causes a lot of stagnancy.
Anyway,
that's a podcast for another day. So, like, I really want to inspire these kids, like change the game for them. It will take long, but that's what I'm dedicated to for the next 30 to 40 years.
You are hard on. Even at age 32, you still be a hard
I'll
on.
be the toughest.
You'll be the hardest your Bali.
So that's like another main purpose is, and I can see them, they're eating it up. I'm changing, I'm showing them like the brand deals, the drip, how you need to look, you know what I mean? The pies, except the lifestyle, the Yo Bali lifestyle. Listen, being a Yo Bali is about ABC. I'm changing the narrative because a lot of people maybe associated it with maybe more like drugs, like negative things. Like,
you're changing the game.
I'm changing like the narrative now. Like Yo Bali culture will be like, we'll be able to identify ourselves with that culture.
That is dope.
Because people like running away from it. Like, let's say a lot of other artists that don't associate them, or celebrities that don't associate themselves with Yo Bali culture. They'll come with an Air Force One. They'll come with drip. You know, they want the freshest pie. They want the sheets. Yo Bali.
That'll be because of who? You.
Exactly. So it's like, that's what I'm pushing, because I've seen how people in the Western country have done it, like Jay-Z and like even just the legacy that Tupac left. Like, he really left a foundation for black people. And Jay-Z and them and Beyonce as well, for even females. They're creating a foundation for black excellence and black people using culture. That's my main focus. I want to change this narrative of inferiority complex, feeling like we're not good enough, like we should always be broke, we should always be poor. We've
performed for that.
We're performing. I'm changing that narrative. Like, Zambians now are seeing like me, because I've only been in the game for 4 years. Chill, like people are always like, like you finish when I say this is a long just page, man. I keep coming back, like even like just the GTA stuff I was playing around with. Like, we were getting viral. Going viral is nothing. Like, I don't even care about going viral anymore.
Facts,
I did like 10 million, 15 million views on Facebook. I'm like, this is the most viral ever, you know? But I'm still like, it's not about going viral now. It's about the foundation, the legacy.
Facts, bro.
You know what I mean? So that's I think in a nutshell, that's just what it is. Like, the next generation, the fact that it's my life, I can't live without it. It's a drug for me. Yeah, those are like the main reasons why I'm a creative.
I've enjoyed having this conversation with you, man.
Yeah,
I've really enjoyed it. Like, I've really, really enjoyed it, and you've shared a huge side of you that I didn't even know, and I'm grateful for that, man. Like,
I don't know, I feel like dope. A lot of people always say this, like, I didn't know this about you, and I always ask myself, maybe there's something I'm not saying. But again, I don't like talking too much, you know? Like the Bimba is Abakadita Balanda. Like, I understood that principle at a young age. My father always used to tell me Abakadita Balanda. Like, whenever I start boasting, say, no, Daddy, I want to do this. Shh, don't tell anyone. Just like, dope. But now, I've just noticed, I'm even at this podcast, I'm going to share all these clips and everything, so that for now, I will speak and I'll let people in on like who I am, what I'm about, what my plans are. Then I'll go back to just focusing on the content.
Nice. Now, Mix, as we end the podcast, there is a segment that we looked at the end of the podcast called "What Was the Reason?"
Yeah.
So basically, we're going to show you past videos that you've done, and then you're going to give us more context to say what was the reason behind this video and stuff like that. Yeah. Sounds good?
Yeah, like interesting.
Yeah, dope. Let's start with this one.
This is a classic. I'm here to nab your best.
What was the reason, bro?
I'm here to nab your I think it was just funny, like there's just this whole culture of like stealing someone's pie, taking someone's pie. So this was like a practical expression or like example of what it is when somebody comes and takes your pie. Literally nabs her, steals her from her.
That is dope. Let's go to the next one. This one.
You know, if someone broke your heart, you know, before you start crying, before you start getting depressed, there's one question you need to ask yourself. Do you have racks?
What was the reason, bro?
Can you afford to waste time crying
before you
for
start
another person's
feeling
child?
like top of the world? You have the sheets.
Facts, bro.
That way.
Facts, man. Facts.
The racks.
You have the racks. That is dope. Last one before we wrap it up.
Oh, you motherfuckers. Okay. All right. I'm putting cases on all you bitches.
Hey, this is the time when
You think you can do this shit?
these days.
Yeah.
You think you can do
This one is just basically the character from the second startup, the one that doesn't wash his boxes.
Oh yeah.
It's
yeah.
not like you come and then they've washed your boxers. Like, when you didn't intend to wash the boxer,
As well.
that's a performance.
I get you, man.
Like, don't touch somebody's boxers, man. Imagine you start washing somebody else's boxers. That's a performance.
That's wild,
you can
bro.
sue someone for that.
I think we should try that one day. Anyway, bro, I've had an amazing conversation with you for real, man. You are such a profound a creative. You are very, and a lot of people give you flowers for this because you deserve it, man. And I'm so happy for the progress that you've made in these 4 years. And honestly, it's nowhere to go but up from here, man. In a few words, how was your experience on the Konse podcast for the first time?
No, I think I think I'm really getting good at speaking in this podcast. I didn't feel like I was limited. I felt like I was just having a conversation.
Yeah.
And I was like, previously I would always limit myself in mentioning names of certain people, but I feel like this time I really just like spoke my truth.
Yeah.
You know, and I used to be very scared, anxiety again.
Yeah, I get you.
What if people say this? What would they think?
Yeah.
But like I said, because I've gone through that healing period, mental health period, I'm much more stronger now and like more confident,
Bless, bro.
expressive. So it was a good opportunity to train my expression, the side of me that wants to express itself.
Bless, man. Bless, bro. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
It's been, guy, you need to come back, bro. You definitely need to come back.
I need to be that guy who comes like 4 or 5 episodes.
Facts, man, facts. We're here for it. We're here for it. And for you guys, that's what we had for you today, guys. The hardest on in LSK. Yes, sir. He said his truth. And if you like the episode, please remember to leave a comment, share, and subscribe, and do all the things that you have to do, man. If you don't,
You've performed, let's say.
thank you.
You've performed.
Thank you. Because, guys, like we always say on the podcast, remember to always live your best life. Until next time. Yes, sir.